good, guys? It is Reed and welcome back to a dope video, something a little bit different, but something I've been wanting to try for a while. I recently put out a video, I think it was How to Make Your Magic Better episode 10, and it was all about creativity and how to create magic and that sort of thing. And I thought, and I had mentioned in that video, that it might be useful and fun to take you guys through how I create and actually watch the creative process. So what I've done is, I have these notes on my phone of some ideas that I'd like to work on. So I picked one of those ideas, and honestly, I don't even know what the effect is. I barely remember what this idea is, but I want to re-explore it and see what we can come up with. It's an effect I saw on Sean's channel that he did with a Svengali deck. Very cool effect, but if you know anything about myself, you know I'm not a big fan of gimmick decks. So I think my idea here was to try to figure out a way to do that effect without the Svengali deck. So again, I barely even remember the effect. All I have written down is Svengali, do as I do, any card, any number. So I'm assuming it's going to be some kind of 2-deck any card, any number. Now I do have my own any card, any number using 2 decks already called ACAAN. If you haven't seen the performance of it, I will link it right here. So I have some ideas from that, but hopefully this is something that we can create that's going to be quite different. So without any further ado, let's just jump right into it. So to start, we're going to watch the video that he had taught that effect in, because I need to remember what the effect is. So this is going to be a truly sort of genuine, like I honestly have no ideas. I don't know where this is going to go, and I'll kind of walk you through my thought process. Hopefully we come up with something cool and you guys can learn a cool trick while we're at it.
So here's what I came up with. You want to mix your Svengali deck with a marked deck. So in this, what you're going to do is have one participant, and you're going to have them select a card with a dribbling procedure like this. So they say stop anytime they want to, and then you just show them their card. And it's important that you look away, and then you dribble the rest of it on top, and you can ask them to cut the deck as many times as they want to. And then you say, look, I'm going to pick a card for me as well. So all you're doing here is dribbling the deck, and you're say, look, I'm going to take this card, but really this card doesn't matter at all. So now what you do is you sort of sit back and relax, and you say, look, odd or even. That's all you say. You say odd or even. Now you want their card, you want them to have the odd number. Here you just write down any odd number you want to. I usually just write 13. Just so we're not thinking of the same number, why don't you pick out an even number for me? Alright, so you give them the piece of paper and the pen, and they write down any even number. It doesn't matter, right? We'll go with 16 for their number. They wrote 16, so we say, look, I'll count down 16 cards, and you always want to start with their number first, right? So you can get the big finish with their card, alright? So they say 16. So you very fairly count down 16 cards. That's 1, 2, 3, 15, 16. Without thinking about it, we know that this is an even number, and all we got to do is look at the mark, and then that'll be our card that we apparently picked, right? My card was a 6 of spades. Let's see what we get. The 6 of spades. I think your card might be at number 13. It's 1, 2, 3, 12, 13. It's an odd number, so it's always going to land on their card, right? It's a force card. So you pick it up, you say, for the first time, what was your card? They say 9 of hearts. Boom.
So let's recap the effect. So the idea of the effect, from just having watched it, and now I'm kind of refreshed on why I liked it so much. So 2 cards are going to be selected from one deck, one by yourself, one by the spectator, and then essentially each of you are going to guess the position of each other's card, right? Where your card happens to be in the deck. And then you're going to deal down to that number, or they can deal down to that number perhaps, and the number they name will have your card, and the number that you name will have their card. So first I want to lay down some of the restrictions and some of the things that I would really want to achieve with this effect. So one, I would like any card to be selected. Perhaps any card could be named. We may go along that route, but I think having them not have said the card out loud might be better for this effect. So any card, of course any number as well. I'm thinking I would like if they could do all of the dealing, or at least one aspect of the dealing, like whether they deal on when we're looking for their card, or they deal when they're looking for my card. Now thinking about the Svengali deck, the Svengali allows whatever number that you say will always have their card at it, because you say the odd number, right? Personally for me, I'm also going to want to have the number said out loud, I think, rather than write it down. and I might try to see if I can do like a thought of number as well, but we'll see how that goes. But yeah, the Svengali deck allows you to, whatever, you can say any odd number and you will find their card, and it's very clean, very fair. So the one thing we're gonna have to work around is figuring out how to get their card to the number you name. But thinking about it, that's going to be pretty easy to do if we can just control their card to a number. Because we're naming the number, we can stack their card to any number that we want. So it kind of makes me feel like I don't know too much why you would need a Svengali deck to even do this now. Let me make sure I have that right. Yeah, because he picked the number 13, which was where their card was. So really, to me, I mean, I like the idea of using a marked deck, and that's the first thing that's standing out to me, because it'll take care of the number that they choose and the card that you choose, and you don't have to do any work, right? And so I like the idea of using a marked deck. Maybe after we'll think of another method without a marked deck. So let me grab one. All right, so I got my Boris Wild marked deck here. Well, the other question I'm having is, do they name the number for their own card and I name the number for my card? Or do we keep like how Sean had it, where you name their number and they name your number? Well, let's think about this. So this is, you know, when you're creating, you want to think about these questions, right? So what is going to be a stronger effect? If they have a card in mind, they name the number, they find their card, good effect. But then if I just think of a card and also find the number, it's not as strong. So I do like the idea of we're naming each other's number. The other advantage is now with the marked deck, our card can be at whatever number they name, no issue, because we're just going to read the marking at whatever number they say. So the problem now we have to sort out is their card at the number we name, but since we're naming the number, we can say whatever number we want. So as long as we stack their card or know the position of their card, we're set. Okay, so this is actually, I think is going to work out really, really nicely using a marked deck. I mean, ideally we might like to have them shuffle as well, right? But I think regardless, the fact that they can at least deal their number, right? Well, they can do all the dealing now. If we actually can get their card to a specific number, that's the number we name, and then we can get our card to a specific number, and they can do all the dealing, right? Okay, so we're gonna have to start to iron out exactly the process and how this is gonna work. So I'm thinking, right, like imagine this. They select a card, and I have it controlled or something like that. And let's say, just for fun, I'm gonna stack it to the 10th position, right? That's their card. And then I say I select the card, and we lose it in the middle, but really I don't even pay attention to what the card is. Now I say, I want you to think of any number between 1 and 52. You're going to try to locate my card, and I'm going to try to locate yours. All right, they've never said the card out loud. They just think of a number. And I say, all right, I was thinking of the number 10. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Technically, they could even deal this too, but I think it kind of makes sense that you deal it. Anyway. And then I have them reveal their card, and I've got it right. Now I think that's a good first phase, because in their mind, oh, you know, maybe you just controlled the card to a position, and you in fact did name the position. So we might want to focus on making this a little bit more deceptive, whether we give them the opportunity to shuffle the cards. We could look at a math sequence as well, potentially. And then we throw this back on top. I actually can hand them the deck, and they don't even have to say the number they thought of. They deal down to any number they want. I don't know. And let's say they stop here. I just peek the marking now, and I say, all right, my card was the 7 of hearts. And reveal it, and we have achieved it. Okay, so I think that actually works as a method, but I think the second phase is inherently deceptive, because they do the dealing, they choose any number, and I've never said my card out loud, and I'll never see the card, and I'll reveal it before because of the marked deck. So that's a super deceptive phase. So I think that phase is great. And of course they could shuffle the deck. Now the only thing is the first phase, is not quite as deceptive as I'd like it to be, because they pick a card, right? And I haven't figured out what method we're going to do for picking the card, but because we have a marked deck, we can actually make it extremely fair and just peek the marking, right? A peek might be a good use here, but we'll get to that in a sec. Presumably, they're going to think, if they're being really, really skeptical, let's think as a skeptic here. You know, he showed me a card, so it's not really thought of. Okay, fair. Even though we're gonna try to spin this as a thought of card, but we'll get to some ways to do that in a second. So then they could assume that if I do all the shuffling, then I've just controlled the card to a position that I know, and since I named the number, then it's all, you know, I could know everything, which is obviously what I am doing. But now if we either let them shuffle the cards, then it kind of breaks that chain, where there's no way I could know the position if they shuffle. But to me, if they shuffle in a genuine shuffle, it's going to... I just had an idea. The Ireland shuffle, or the Island shuffle. I always forget what it's called. Ireland shuffle, I think? The Ireland shuffle. I'm gonna go with that. That could work really well here actually, but we'll get to that in a sec. But if we let them genuinely shuffle, then I'm gonna have to take the deck back and execute a call of their card to the top. Now, because this is marked, technically I could do that from the reverse, right? So if I'm looking for the king of diamonds, at least with this marked deck, that might be hard to do with some marked decks though, you know, to have to go through the whole deck to find it. And there's no great justification when you're showing them the backs of the cards. Like you can say, you know, you've seen all of these cards are mixed completely. You did all the shuffling, right? All different, and then I've controlled their card. But I think that is a little, not great for most people with marked decks probably. So I'm thinking that Ireland Shuffle might actually be great here, but we'll get to that in a sec. What about having them name both numbers? Kind of takes away from the plot, because we could have them name the number, but it does kind of take away from the plot. What if we made the number random? You know, for example, I said, well, instead let me take out two cards so you don't think, or two random cards, and we'll create a number that way so that you don't think I've done anything. Okay, I think we're gonna allow them to shuffle. So if we let them shuffle, then there's no way in their mind that I could know what position it's at. And it is kind of a building effect. I think that first phase is not gonna be as strong no matter what we do, because I'm the one naming the number, right? Which is a good sort of building if you think about the phases of the effect. So we get a good hit on that second one. I'm thinking the Ireland shuffle is a shuffle that really feels fair, but we can essentially reverse the order of the deck. We could also, you know, do that thing where you have the card on top, and then you have them deal some cards, stop, shuffle, keep dealing, shuffle, you know, go like that, and then we know where their card is when we take it back, but then we're still gonna have to stack it to the position after they hand it back to us, which isn't horrible, right? You can definitely do that. With the Ireland shuffle, we can, you know, put it in position and then give it to them and have them begin to have them mix up the deck, and then instantly we can go into me naming a number, and actually, in fact, if the deck's already in their hands, we could have them deal, which might actually be really nice here. So let's look at that. So what's a good number that wouldn't take too much stacking? If we stack the card from the bottom, the Ireland shuffle is going to reverse its position. So let's pick a nice number like 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now, when that's going to put if their card was on the bottom, if their card's a 4 of diamonds and we put 10 cards, and then they do the Ireland shuffle, their card's now going to be 11th from the top, which is a decent number, not too much dealing, and it's not too hard to just quickly peel off 10 cards and place them there. So that might be a good number to work with. Or if we do 10 from the top, then it's going to be, what, 30, or it's going to be 41 from the bottom, but that's a lot of dealing. So I think I like the position number 11. So let's work with that. So now we go to the selection process, right? We could do something like this and say, you know, we're each gonna take a card from here, okay? Completely fair, take whatever one you want and just pull it out towards you. At this moment, you get your peak, and this is all just me freestyling. I don't know if this is the best way. This is just feels really fair to me. You get your peak. You say, that's completely fair. Do you want to change your mind? Da, 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 da. They say, yes, right now I know that this card is the 2 of clubs, or spades, 2 of spades. So I just remember that, and then I say, all right, we're both gonna look at it. We look at it, We place it back into the spread. Now, if we do that, then I'm gonna have to look through to cull their card. But it does make this process feel very fair, and I would know about where their card is, so it wouldn't take much for me to cull the 2 of spades to the top, stack it in preparation for the Ireland shuffle. The other option is we have them, you know, pick it from the spread like this. I get my peek maybe as they're taking it out. Then I would say, and I'm gonna look at one too, but that's all for show. And then I say, all right, put it back wherever you'd like. So they slide it in, and I just cull it to the bottom in that motion. That would alleviate me even needing the peek of the marking, right? If I do the control. I mean, we're using a marked deck, we might as well take advantage of it. That's what it feels like to me. But, I mean, if I go like this and I turn away, they take out a card, and I say, all right, leave that, place that somewhere in the deck. And I can just cull it out to the bottom. Now I just peek it while it's on the bottom, doing an all around square up and set up. This is tough. This is a hard part, determining how you want the selections to be made, but I kind of like this. It feels really free. They take one, I take one. I peek the marking. Now what I could do while they're looking at it, I could scoop this up, right? And then go for a control. But I like the openness, how free this feels, right? We have the marked deck, we might as well utilize it. So peek your marking, 6 of spades, push it in, give it a little shuffle, and now I'll say, look, all of these cards are different. Oh, that could be a good justification if you don't show them that the cards are different at the start, and now you say, look, all of these cards are completely different. You can see each one, and at that moment I'll control their card to the top and give it a mix. So their card's at the bottom. I kind of like that sequence. So I'm thinking that's what I like right now. Again, another option that I think is not bad is you just do a very fair spread selection. They look at their card and then you have them return it and you just cull it to the bottom, and you don't even need to peek it until it's on the bottom, right? Now, once you have that card on the bottom, you're just gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, throw that on the bottom, and then you can give it a few more false shuffles, right? So now, okay. Now I could hand it to them and say, here, how about you shuffle it a little bit? And I'll say, all right, start dealing cards on the table. You can deal bunches like this. Just go whatever you want. And they keep going. And now when they're getting close to where that card is, I need them to start dealing ones. You know, I can have them deal piles. I said, here, now start dealing one at a time. Fast, fast, fast. Just keep going. Stop. You can give those cards a shuffle and throw those on top. So now that felt like a really fair shuffle. They do all that as long as you guide them through the process. Now their card should be in the 11th position. Here's an interesting thing. What card do we want them to find first? No, we want them to find their card first. So we're set. Now I say, all right, I want us to each think of a number between 1 and 52. You got one? Say, all right, don't tell me yours, but I went for 11. Is that the same as you? They can say no. They say, all right, deal down 11 cards. Let's see how I did. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And they did all that, and with any luck, I'll ask them to reveal their card. They will say the 6 of spades. I'll remind them they shuffled and everything, and we have the 6 of spades. Throw that on top, and I'll say, all right, now just deal down to your number. You don't have to say it out loud. You can if you want. They deal down to any number they'd like. I'll remind them not to look at it. Take out the card, set it aside, and I'll say, my card was the 3 of hearts. Let's see how you did. 3 of hearts. That is a banger. All right, so now I feel like I have a really, really good skeleton, and we're almost kind of done here. Of course, there's pattern presentation to think about, but method-wise, I think we're really, really close. I'd like to think about any ways I can tighten it up, streamline it maybe. That's usually where I like to go next. I think the magical perspective all makes sense. Everything feels magical. Everything is deceptive. I think it would fly by anyone who saw it. That's not a magician. Now, the one thing I didn't love, if we do reverse it and we put the card 11th from the top to start. Now, when they go through the process, we have them deal singles right away till we get past 11, and now they can shuffle this big packet as much as they want. Whereas at the other way, we can only do a little bit, but then you're having to deal with the card being, what's 11 from the bottom? It's 41, I guess. So then your number is gonna have to be 41. which do you want to do that? I don't know. Because otherwise, they can deal piles of cards. They just can't shuffle necessarily until we deal the ones and they're past their card, and then you can say stop and shuffle, but now they're shuffling a couple of cards. So, I mean, at this point you could have them go through the sort of false cut, OC cut there, or whatever that's called. We could put the card lower, but that is going to require us to not mess up this stacking of 10 cards. You know, if we up it to like 20, say, more error potential. I like it at 10. I mean, there's the option of handing them half the deck, having them shuffle half. The half that doesn't matter, and then we just false shuffled this half. I think the Ireland shuffle, the Marlowe shuffle, is a good option though, and I want to keep it, I think. So let's go over that again here. So you're gonna have them shuffle the cards, then you're gonna spread them on the table and say we each need to pick out a card for this. We're gonna try see how in sync we are. So just slide one forward, anyone you want. Do you want to change your mind? At this point you get your peek. So this is the Jack of Clubs. I'm gonna remember that, and then I say, all right, we're each gonna look at our card. So they look at it, I look at it, and I say put it back wherever you'd like. Let's say they go that, and square that up. Now at this point you could have them shuffle, but I think it's probably overkill. And you say, now look, you could be thinking of any one of these cards, right? Of course they're all different, and at that point I'm going to call their card out to the top of the deck, which was the Jack of Clubs. And I'm going to shuffle it off to the bottom, okay? Then I'm going to stack 10 cards from the top to the bottom. So I just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Throw those on top, and I can continue with a few more shuffles that I just keep throwing back on top so it's not disturbing the order at the bottom. I say, you know what, here, actually you shuffle these. So hold on to the deck. Here's what I want you to do. We're going to give it a special shuffle. Start dealing cards. Now you can deal multiple cards at a time. You can deal packets, whatever you'd like. Just keep going, keep dealing. This is completely messing up the order of the deck. Now I want you to deal really fast, one at a time. Go. Don't stop. Just keep going. And now whenever you want, stop, shuffle the rest, and then you can throw those on top in any order you want. Is that fair? Is there any way either of us could know the order of these cards? They'll say no. Now you say, all right, I want us each to think of a number. So I'm going to try to guess what number your card is at, and you're going to try to guess what number my card is at. Think of any number between 1 and 52. So our magic number is 11 in this case. So then you would say, all right, I went with number 11. You don't have to tell me yours yet, but we did pick different numbers, yes? All right, now go deal down 11 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Now you could be thinking of any card, right? I could have said any number. What was the card you were just thinking of? They'll say the Jack of Clubs, and we have the Jack of Clubs. Now you say, you can tell me or not, you don't have to, but deal down to the number that you were just thinking of and set the card aside. Don't look at it yet. Let's say they were thinking of 6, just to keep it short. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They set that aside. I get my peek, see that it is the 3 of diamonds, and I'll say, all right, you could have thought of any number. You did all the dealing. That's completely fair. You even shuffled the cards. I went with the 3 of diamonds. Let's see how you did. 3 of diamonds, and we have a miracle. So that's actually a pretty good trick. I might start performing that when I have my marked deck on me, because it's very similar to the do as I do that I normally do, but it's got the nice any card, any number aspect to it, which is pretty cool. So, you know, like I said, there's a few different things you could do in terms of like the control at the beginning. You could have them pick out a card like this, especially if you're doing it in the hands. And then instead of peeking the marking, you would just call that card to the bottom, peek it in an all-around square, and then stack it to the bottom, or to the 11th from bottom position, right? So that's an option. Some people might like that a little bit better, and that's going to come in handy when we start to look at doing this with a regular deck. Yeah, and then, you know, you could change the position to which you stack the card to change the number. I think 11's a nice number, not too much dealing, but again, it does make the Ireland shuffle not quite as, you know, fun, because you have to wait until they get all the way to the bottom of the deck. So if we do flip that, it will make the trick a little long in the dealing and more room for error in the stacking and with them counting the cards. So that's why I would probably avoid it. But you totally could, and then you'll get a nicer sort of feeling of them shuffling the cards. And even after they shuffle, you could have them cut off 3 small packets to the table and then collect them as sort of the a false cut there. That is what I got. That's, you know, that's just me here filming. That's just the ideas that came to me and how I kind of worked through it, you know, establishing my boundaries, what I wanted to achieve, and then iterating. You can see how we changed little things to get the effect where we want it. Now let's look at doing this with a regular deck, something I absolutely love. You know, I almost always carry this. I don't even carry my marked deck a ton. So let's see what we can come up with. Now, I think we've got the problem of their card to getting their card to the number, because we can essentially keep the exact same process. We just need to peek the card without relying on the marking. So I think the way to do that is you're going to spread it, and they pick out any card they want very fairly. And then as they do that, you say, and I'm going to get a card too. You dribble, just pretend. And then you say, all right, leave that anywhere in the deck. You can even just pull your hands apart, have them leave it here. And then as you come over, you're going to push their card over slightly, and underneath you're going to cull it to the bottom, do an all-around square, get your peak. So I've just peaked Jack of Diamonds, and then stack it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Throw that on, and we're in the exact same position, except since we're not using a marked deck, we now have to figure out how we're going to know what card they end up on. Now, obviously, we can try to control the number they say and force the number, and then we could know what card is at the number. But I think we want to keep this in a very fair, free choice. They name any number they want. So if that's the effect, there's two options for the method. We either have them say out loud the number, and then we also stack our card to that number, or we figure out a way to get a peek of the card that they stop on for their number. Now that, to me, seems like the easier, cleaner way, but we're going to need a really good justification here as to why we peek the card, because we're going to obviously have to touch it or something of the sorts. The first thought that comes to mind in terms of peeking, because, you know, it's enough to stack one card to a certain position, so I don't really think we want to try to stack two, but maybe we'll come back to it, or maybe there's a math principle that might be good here. But I'm thinking, right, imagine this. Let's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. All right, let's say their card's King of Diamonds in the 11th position. Everything's been done. We honestly don't have a card yet. So if we go, you know, we say 11, they deal down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. They set that aside. Obviously, it'd be face down still, but we'll leave it face up. Now they think of any number, and they deal down to their number. They don't even have to say their number out loud, and they set another card aside. Now obviously the problem here, we don't know this card. If both of these are face down, I know the identity of this one. Could we utilize maybe like a one ahead here? So if we pick up both of these cards like this, and I say, and what was your card? And they go King of Diamonds. And I say, and my card was the 9 of Diamonds. And I flip them towards me and throw them on the table. Is that worth it? Because that might be actually pretty interesting, using a one ahead. Because my original idea, which I've segued away from because I just thought of using a one ahead, but my original idea would be like something like this, where I pick up both cards and I figure out a way to glimpse just slightly this one. It's just in the action of picking it up, and I say, here, you hold on to your card, I'll hold on to my card. And, you know, just in the action of literally, they've set both cards down, I'll say, here, you hold on to your card, I'll hold on to my card. And as I'm handing them their card, I could probably get away with glimpsing this. Or do we do it the other way, while they hold on to my card, I hold on to their card? Yeah, I think that would make more sense. So I'll say we have my card and we have your card, and I just kind of go like this, and I just get a little bit of a peek. I think that could actually work. And because it's your card, they presume you already know it, right? So I think the fact that you peek at it would be okay, as long as you're really fair with this one, right? About not looking at their card. There is the, you know, the potential there where they think, hey, well, they figure out exactly what we're doing. They're like, he just lied about his card, but spectators really do not understand the concept of a miscall. So my first idea for the method would be, so they'd set down their card, right? You'd set down your card. Let's make my card the Jack of Hearts to make it easy to remember. So I don't know the identity of my card, and then this is their card. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick them both up, and I say, all right, so this is your card, this is my card. You hold on to my card, I'm going to hold on to yours, and we'll see how we did here. For the first time, what was your card? The King of Diamonds, and then they reveal the Jack of Hearts. So that was my first idea. because I feel like if we've already revealed the king of diamonds and we have the jack sat down here, and then I say, and my card was the jack of hearts, it kind of takes away, it's very hard to peek just one card, you know, away from the deck without making it obvious. At least I don't know any good methods for it. So to me, keeping them both anonymous, I can now draw some more attention to their card while I just peek mine. And again, because they probably are not going to be in the mind that I could have miscalled something, there's a high chance that they won't even notice. And I mean, again, the idea is here they don't notice us peek it. You say, you know, this is your card and this one is my card. So you hold on to that and you kind of have this action where you say, this is your card, and I get my peek. This is your card, this one is my card. You've never said your card out loud. For the first time, what was your card? King of diamonds. We both kind of hold on to it or something like that. And maybe this is a good time to recap. You say sort of, you shuffled, we each named a number. I'm trying to find your card and you were trying to find my card. So this is your card here and this is my card. I want you to hold on to my card, I'll hold on to your card. And in that moment, I just got the peek of the jack of hearts. Then I would say, let's see how I did. For the first time, what was your card? They say king of diamonds, and I'll say the king of diamonds. And now, I'd say, and what was your card? They'd say the jack of hearts, and we would flip that over. Like, my whole thought is, if I had already actually picked a card and looked at it, it would not matter that I look at it again, whereas it would matter more in a spectator's mind that I actually looked at their card. Because, you know, they want to keep that mystery of, I don't want the magician to know my card. Thinking about it, like, that's kind of why I come back to that point. We can easily just hold our own card, but then it does kind of take away from the impact of the final effect if we look at it knowingly. What if we play into the sort of, almost sort of a joke? So I say, so their card's over here, my card's over here, and if we could sort of stack them on top, like I sort of take their card, pick it up like this, and I just switch it out, right? So I put it underneath and I go, so, okay, so this is the known card to me, and I kind of go like this, and I say, all right, for the first time, what was your card? They say king of diamonds, and I look at it and I say, pretty good, you did pretty well. And then I say, and my card was the jack of hearts. And I throw it down. I don't quite love the reveal as much. Trying to think what's better here. Like, I think there's something with a one ahead that we could use because we know what their card is. What about a Mexican turnover? They've set down their card, I've set down my card. I picked them up and I switched them. So now I say, now your card here, right? You could have thought of any card. I have no idea what the card is. What is it? They'll say king of diamonds, and I'll look at it. I'll say, huh. And you kind of give them a look and they'll be like, show me, and you kind of drag it out a little bit. And my card, let's see what you did, was the jack of hearts. Flip over it, and then you show the king of diamonds in your hand, utilizing a Mexican turnover. That's interesting, definitely interesting. Like, again, if you pull the deck far out of play, you know, doing a little bit of sleight of hand with these two cards isn't really gonna affect how clean the effect is, because there's no switching of these two cards. These are the two cards that they took out of the deck, no question, right? So my thought here is, like, I know that's their card. If they reveal that card right away as a king, then they take out this card, and I'll say, and you could have dealt to any card. My card was the jack of hearts. Let's see how you did, and you kind of throw it on the table, let them flip it. So if there was a way, like, imagine they're dealing down, and you say, and place that card in my hand. We won't look at it yet. And I'll say, now look, you could have said any number, you could have said any card. I'll say, look, if I went like this, I'll say, you could have said any number, you could have, is there a way to get like a little peek here? I'll say, look, you could have said any, oh, that might work. I kind of like that, because then you get that reveal right away, and then they deal the card in your hand. You say, look, you could have named any number, and you gesture down towards the deck, and if you just bend the card, you can get the pip, you can get it in view. Say, look, you could have named any number, you could have named any card, but you stopped on that card right there. Now, I don't know what that card is, but I know my card was the jack of hearts. Let's see how you did, and they flip it over. So those are a couple ideas. Again, it's going to take some time, some testing to know exactly which one's better. But right now I do like that idea that I just had at the end here. I think the one ahead is neat, but it does involve... there's probably a better way to do it, but nothing's clicking right now. And it does involve you kind of getting them to you know, like, to switch what card they think is yours and which one they think is theirs. If you could find a way to just get your peek. But again, does it even matter? Like, I really think this idea I like too, where you have their card, they have theirs, and you say, all right, this is your card, and you just get a peek. This is your card, this is my card. So you're gonna hold on to mine, I'll hold on to yours. You could have dealt it, then you recap, and you've already got your peek, and you kind of put some time delay, King of Diamonds and Jack of Hearts. So actually, I think that method is really, really good. So here, I'll leave you with these two methods that I like. So let's actually go through it here. What you would do, they would shuffle the cards and then hand it back to you, and you say pick out any one you want. And then while they're looking at it, you say, and I need a card too, so I'm gonna go with that one right there, and you don't actually remember anything, it's all just sort of talk. Then you spread through and you say, all right, leave that card right there, so they're gonna leave it here. And then as you close up, you call that card to the bottom of the deck, and in the action of an all-around square up, you get a peek and remember that card. So now I know it's the 6 of clubs. Then I'm going to shuffle off 10 cards from top to bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Throw those. So now it's 11th from the bottom. I can do a few false shuffles. I'll say, you know what? Actually, here, you shuffle this. Hold on to the deck. We're going to give this a special shuffle. I'm going to start dealing packets of cards, okay? So this is completely mixing up and changing the order of the deck so that no one could know what the order is. Now I say, stop. Now I want you to deal really fast, one at a time. Go as fast as you can. Go, go, go. Just keep dealing them. Now whenever you want, stop. So I should cover in the Ireland shuffle, you just have to make sure they're dealing one at a time. When they deal the card that you want to keep in order, or again, Ireland shuffle is going to reverse the order. So if it was 11 from the bottom, it's going to move it 11 from top. So all you need to do, they can deal kind of however they want here. Packets, we know their card is, you know, about 10 from the bottom. So when there's not many left. And as you're approaching that point, then you just say stop, and they'll stop. They're listening to you, right? You told them this is a special shuffle, so they'll listen. Then you say, now just deal one at a time as fast as you can. Just go, 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 go. And you have them deal fast. And then once you're sure they've passed 10 cards, which won't take very long, right here, I'm sure they've passed the 10 card mark. So that means that I've dealt their card as a single, right? 1, 1, 1. And so it's just going to reverse the order of their card now. So now it doesn't matter what they do with the rest of these. So now you say stop, shuffle those as much as you want, and then throw those on top. And that feels like a genuine shuffle, but now the card's at 11. They have the deck, and you say, all right, I want us each to think of a number of where the other's card is in the deck. I'm going to try to find yours, you're going to try to find mine. Once they have a card, you say, all right, I went for 11. Let's see how I did. Deal 11 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Now there's two methods. Here you can reveal the card right now. So let's go with that method first. So they reveal the card, the 6 of clubs. You get your first reaction. So now you have them deal down to the number they're thinking of. You can have them say it out loud or not, but you're going to tell them, I want you to place the card in my hand. Don't look at it once you get there. All right. So they're going to deal down. Let's just say they go for a small number, and they'll set this card into your hand. For me, I'm going to go with the left hand. And I say, look, you could have said any one of these numbers. You could have said, you know, I could be thinking of any card, and we have not looked at that card. We don't know if this has succeeded. But I'll tell you, I went for the Ace of Diamonds. Let's see how you did. And they reveal the Ace of Diamonds. So there, what you do is while the card's in your hand and you're gesturing over the deck, you say, look, you could have said any number. You're just squeezing it with your thumb, and it's exposing the pip, right? So if the card's in your hand, squeeze it like this, and if you turn your hand like this, you can get a nice glimpse. And hopefully they don't see that, right? That's kind of just like, look, you could have picked any number, and then you immediately bring the card into view. You could have thought of any number, get your peek. You could have thought of any card, drop it on the table, and say, but we both haven't looked at that card. We don't know if it succeeded. You shuffled the deck. My card was the Ace of Diamonds. Take a look. And you succeeded. So that's the first method that I think is pretty nice. The other method would be they deal down 11, they set that card aside, and you say, all right, we won't look at it just yet. And now deal down to your number, set that aside too. So now they've set aside both cards, you get the deck out of play, and you say, look, this is your card and this is my card. I want you to hold on to my card, I'll hold on to yours. Now, think about this. I could have said any number, you could have said any number. You shuffled the deck, we both have no idea what each other's card is. For the first time, what was your card? Let's see how we did. They'll say 3 of clubs, or 6 of clubs, you flip it over, 6 of clubs, and then you say, and my card was the 3 of clubs, and they reveal the 3 of clubs. So how that peek would work is you pick up both cards, and as you say, this is your card, you're just kind of, you're pinching the deck with the index finger, thumb on top, and the middle finger underneath. You're moving the thumb to the bottom and just flicking the card up like that, right? So you say, this is your card, and you see how you just get the peek? This is your card. You're drawing all attention here as your eyes just glimpse that card. This is your card, this is my card. I want you to hold on to that while I hold on to this. I actually really like this one as well. Then you have that moment you can hold on to the card. We each don't know each other's card, and it's very clean. You obviously never peeked their card, and then they reveal. There's no switches involved, and there you go. So that's what we got. So actually, I'm really happy with that. I think we got some great effects. Fun little tutorial. So if you guys like the marked deck version, the unmarked deck version, of course, if you have any other ideas, this is a work in progress. So this is where I think I'm going to leave it, but let me know what you guys think. That was a ton of fun, an awesome video, and let me know if you guys would like to see more like this, like seeing the creative process, because this was a ton of fun, and we got some really good effects here. So this is Svengali do as I do, any card, any number sort of idea with a marked deck and a completely ungimmicked deck. So I love them both. Both really, really good. I was just thinking, now that we're here, you know what, we might as well perform this. Let me go see if I can get one of my buddies real quick, and we will test out the this trick, see how it works. I'm gonna use the marked deck version, and we'll see how it goes. So let me go get him.
Don't worry, buddy.
All right. We got Logan, guys. So Logan is a seasoned spectator on the channel. You probably recognize him. He's got no beard now, though. So
hey guys.
So Logan, what we did here, it's something new I tried. I had an idea, but I had no idea what the trick was going to be, and I created the trick in front of the camera. So this is brand new. I just finished working out all the details, and I figured, why don't we just test it, see if it works. Hopefully it works. It might fuck up, but see if I can remember how it works. So, are you excited?
I'm always excited.
Logan's always excited for some magic. So
I love
Logan,
to see magic.
give those a good shuffle. We know your skills. They've been documented well on the channel here.
Yeah, I still suck at shuffling, guys. I'm too busy to learn the right way.
One day we'll teach them.
But I'll make sure you guys can see all the cards.
All right. So Logan, here's what we're going to do. We're going to spread these on the table. And we're each going to pick a card. We each need a card for this. So whatever feels right, I want you to just reach in and you pull a card. You pull a card out and I'll pull a card out. Let's go. I'm going to go with this one right here.
They all look so pretty.
Anyone you like, just pull it out. Push it forward. We don't want to look at it quite yet.
I'll push forward?
Well, you can pull it back if you want.
Pull back? Okay, I'll pull back.
This one right here?
Yep.
All right, so we're gonna let's each look at our card, but don't let me see. Don't let me see, of course.
Ooh.
Okay, and then put that back in wherever you'd like. I won't look even where you put it.
Okay. Yep.
Okay, and we'll close this up. All right. So, one thing I did forget to show you that I would like you to see is that all of these cards are different, right, Logan? Each in a different order too, because this trick is actually going to depend greatly on the order of the cards. Now, here's what we're going to try. You won't forget your card?
No. Almost did actually. Not gonna lie.
Don't forget it.
I got it. All
right. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to give it a bit of a mix. Actually, here. Do you want to help me? You shuffle. Hold on to this. Here's what we're going to do, though. It's going to be a special shuffle. So come to the table. I want you to start dealing small packets of cards.
Dealing?
Yeah, like 3, 4, 5 cards. Just small packets from the top.
2,
Yeah.
3, 4, 5. Okay.
You do like packets at a time, though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So you can so it's completely changing the order of the deck, completely mixing it up. All right. Okay, and now stop. Yeah, stop. And I want you to deal fast, one at a time. Just go. Just quick. Yeah. Just deal those. Perfect. This is a time trial. No. All right. Whenever you keep going, whenever you want, you can stop.
Yep.
You're good. Now shuffle those. You can just shuffle these ones in your hand. Yeah, mix them up.
Yep.
Just change the order and throw them on top when you're happy. It's all good. Perfect.
I closed one. I dropped a couple.
It's all good. It's all good. So that's completely mess. You dropped them on the floor. That's
I dropped on the floor.
Right.
I promise he did nothing.
Pick up the deck. And I want we're each going to think of a number. Now the number is special. I'm going to try to think of a number of the position of your card in the deck. And you're going to try to think of a number that is the position of my card in the deck. Make sense?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So think of a number. Don't say it. Any number between 1 and 52. And I'm going to do the same.
Where your card is.
Where your card is. Where my card is, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Don't say it out loud. I have one as well. Okay. I'm going to say your card is 11. I'm going to go with 11. So can you deal 11 cards onto the table for us?
Does my number matter?
We'll get there in a sec.
7, 8, 9, 10.
11, set it aside.
Okay.
Now Logan. Will this be crazy? Would that be a good trick? It'd be a decent trick. We got
so, yeah.
So for the first time, what was your card?
Mine was 3 of hearts.
3 of hearts. Flip it over. Let's see how we did. The 3 of hearts.
3 of hearts, guys.
Pretty crazy. Now, that was good. But what if you could find my cards? So set those on top.
Okay.
And you have any number. Now, I'll give you the choice. You can say the number out loud, or you can just deal down to it right now without even saying it.
Okay.
Your choice. Do you want to say it, or you're going to do the dealing? So you pick up the deck and you either do the dealing, you can tell us beforehand, or just deal down to the number. Your choice.
Guys,
Change your mind if you want.
I went with number 3, so we're just gonna go 1, 2,
And set the card aside.
okay, aside.
Now, Logan, how crazy would this be?
This one will be pretty crazy. I'll give you that.
All right. I don't know if you did it. I went with the 10 of diamonds. Let's see.
Oh shit! It is a 10 of diamonds. That's pretty good. Oh.
That is the trick.
Okay.
Thank you for joining, Logan.
Clever.
Give us a rating. What did you think? I've seen Lloyd Barnes. He does something like this with his wife. You're not my wife, but this will work. This is a friend test. All right. Entertainment value.
Ooh, I'd give it. You know,
On a scale of 5 or 10. Should we go 5 or 10?
Let's go 10. I'm a pretty big critique, so I never like big ratings. But in terms of the tricks I've seen, I'd give that a good 7.
Good 7. Okay, so fairly entertaining. What about fool value? The value, like Logan's very inquisitive. He likes to try to figure out my tricks. So he's a good person to ask the fool.
I think with the time, I could definitely figure that one out. Figure out part of it for sure. But I'll give it what 10 being high fool value? As in, like, you fooled me?
It fooled the pants off you. Never been so fooled in your
I'll
life.
give it a 5.
A 5. Okay,
So definitely
so you got a decent fool value. Logan's very inquisitive, so I imagine with other people that would be probably higher. What else could we rate it on? Did you have fun? Was it fun?
Yeah, no, that was
entertaining.
That was a good
We
trick.
did entertain. Yes. All right, well, thank you, Logan. Appreciate it. And that was the effect. Worked out
Nice.
great. So hopefully you guys like this style of video, and let me know if you'd like to see more. And again, share your ideas down below. I want to welcome all the new subscribers. Thank you guys. We're getting really close to 2K. I cannot wait for that. Gonna get on a few more live streams soon. I'm really enjoying those as well, so hopefully I can get more of you guys in there, meet more of you. And as always, if you'd like a private lesson, email me rfsleights@gmail.com and we can set something up. So with all that said, guys, thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, and I will catch you in the next video.